Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy NTG back here with another video today, and today I'm going to be going over my predictions for each and every NFL team in this upcoming 2020-21 season. Of course, I'm going to get through all the divisions, all the teams. I'm going to be predicting who I think will win the division, and I'll also be giving you guys a playoff outline in my opinion. If you guys like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below to turn on post notifications. And without further ado, let's hop right into the video. We're going to be starting here at the AFC North, and I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning division at 11-5 record. Now, this may be my bias a little bit, but I do think the Steelers are the best team in that division, the most well-rounded. They've got a substantial amount of wide receivers that could catch the ball. Their quarterbacks come back, they're going to try to rally behind them. The offensive line is good. Defense is scary. I think this is the best team in the AFC North, and I have them at an 11-5 record. Coming in at number 2 at a 10-6 record with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this could either go way higher or way lower, depending on how Lamar Jackson plays. But I think 10-6 records where they're going to settle. They got hot last year, but no one knew what to expect with that team. Now they've got film on it, they're going to slow down a little bit. They did add Calais Campbell in the offseason. They lost Earl Thomas, which could be an issue, but we'll wait and see. But the Baltimore Ravens at a 10-6 record will come in second, in my opinion, in the AFC North. Coming in at number 3, we have the Cleveland Browns at a 7-9 record. Now, I think that this team is good, but we need to slow down. The offense line, in my opinion, is still a little poor, although they did draft Jedrick Wills out of Alabama. We need to slow down this team a little bit here. It's got some holes. I mean, their offense is insane, don't get me wrong. But their secondary, next to Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit's out for the year, it's going to hurt. I just don't know about this Browns team. 7-9 record, in my opinion, is where they're going to finish. Now on to Joe Burrow's home Cincinnati Bengals. Not a good team, in my opinion. I think that their offensive line is poor. I think that their defensive secondary next to Jesse Bates is not the best. Trey Waynes is a good acquisition. We'll have to wait and see. Cincinnati Bengals are 3-13 records where I think they're going to end up in last place in the division once again. Transitioning now to the AFC South, I have the Indianapolis Colts coming in at a 10-6 record. They did add Phillip Rivers. Their offensive line is pretty good. They don't have a ton of targets. They do have Marlon Mack. They added, I believe, what's his name, out of Wisconsin. Jonathan Taylor they added. They also ended up adding, or they still have T.Y. Hilton. And they did end up losing Eric Ebron, which could hurt. Their defense is still scary. They have Darius Leonard there. Secondary's substantially good, I guess you could say. Indianapolis Colts 10-6 record. I feel like they're going to win division at that record. Coming in second, I have the Houston Texans here at a 9-7 record. Now, the reason I don't have them winning the division is because they did end up losing, in my opinion, the second best wide receiver in the league behind Julio Jones, in DeAndre Hopkins, which is definitely going to hurt. However, they did end up getting David Johnson, which he could break out again. We can't, expect anything too crazy, but he may have a productive season in Houston. Their defense is still nice. J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson's there for the next 4 years, which is incredible. So the Houston Texans at a 9-7 record is my opinion to be second in the AFC South. Now on to the third team in this division, AFC South. I guess the best team in the AFC South last year. The Tennessee Titans at a 9-7 record in my opinion. This team, I feel like, has a couple holes. They end up losing a couple key pieces in Jarrell Casey. I just don't think that this team is that good this year. I still think they're going to make a playoff push, but I don't know if they'll get in. You guys will have to wait and see for the AFC playoff predictions. But the Tennessee Titans at a 9-7 record is where I have them. And finally, down in Duval County, will they avoid the 0-16 season? Yes, by one game. I think they're going to go 1-15. This team has no talent on it, I'm sorry. You got Gardner Minshew, who's okay. You've got a couple offensive linemen, which are good. You've got, DJ Chark. And they end up signing Joe Schobert, but they let go Leonard Fournette for some reason. I don't understand the reasoning behind letting go Leonard Fournette. The Jags down in Duval County, I'm going to say 1-15. I don't think this team is that good. Now it's the AFC East. For the team I think will be the 49ers of this year, the Miami Dolphins. They're going to start with Ryan Fitzpatrick week 1, which is going, I don't know if it's going to help or not. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he usually always gets off to a hot start. Put him in for a game or two, teach Tua. I think it's going to be a very, very, very good idea. I think this Dolphins team is built right, good defense, good receivers, good quarterback, or I guess, what should I say here? Bright quarterback, I guess. The Miami Dolphins at 11-5 record, I think, will win the AFC East for the first time in a long time. Dolphins 11-5 is my prediction. Now going north to Buffalo, I think they're going to finish second at a 10-6 record. Doug McDermott is a great coach. They got him locked down. The only problem is I don't know about Josh Allen. He has a strong arm, which is great, but he seems a little, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Clumsy. You guys saw that play against the Texans. Not a good play, I'll tell you that. But, he is a very good quarterback, and their receivers are substantially good, I guess. You got John Brown, you got Stephon Diggs, which they brought in, which is a huge piece. They got Tre'Davious White on the defense. They got Ed Oliver as a young piece. I think this Buffalo team ends up at a 10-6 record, as that is my prediction. The dynasty comes in at number 3. The Patriots are going at an 8-8 record. Now, let me explain myself here. Some of you Patriots fans maybe fight me because guys got Cam Newton, which is a great signing. However, there's no receivers on offense, to be honest. Julian Edelman is hit or miss. N'Keal Harry has been trash so far in his NFL career. The defense is okay. You got Stephon Gilmore, of course, reigning defensive player of the year. Nothing really else. You got Lawrence Guy, I guess, is good. Devin McCourty, Jason McCourty. But is there any other positions that are really kind of key there? You lost 8 or so players due to COVID. Your offensive line's kind of beat up now. Your linebacking core's kind of beat up now. You lost Kyle Van Noy. I think this team is an 8-8 record, and that's my prediction. Now on to the worst team in the AFC East. You guys saw it coming, the New York Jets. This team is trash, guys. I'm sorry, you guys don't have a receiver. You guys don't even have a tight end or running back. Le'Veon Bell, I'm sorry, he's washed at this point. At least that's what I think. He could prove me wrong this year, but I think he's washed right now. Sam Darnold I just feel like the system in New York doesn't fit him exactly how they expected it to with Adam Gase. I just don't think this team's that good, and I think they're going to finish 3-13. Adam Gase, I don't think is a good coach. I think this is his last year and he's out the door. So the New York Jets at 3-13. That's my prediction. Now going out west to the AFC West. Of course, the Chiefs are going to win this division. I feel like if they don't win the division, they're screwed for the next couple of years. You got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mahomes, arguably the most talented quarterback ever to play the game. You've got a solid defense with Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones, some other key pieces out there I'm forgetting off the top of my head. You got McCole Hartman, who's a speedster at kick returner, punt returner, and at wide receiver. This team is just so stacked. I feel like there's no way they'd go less than 14-2. I think they'll honestly go 14-0 up to the point, and then they'll choose to sit their players for the next couple of games and end up going 14-2, as that's my record for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now on to a team that I did have a couple wins higher yesterday. I had 11-5. But I subtract 2 wins because there's an injury on the team. The Denver Broncos lose Von Miller for most likely an entire season, which is a killer. I'm not going to lie, guys. It's a killer. Von Miller would have been such a good pass rusher next to Bradley Chubb. I just don't think that they're going to have the same kind of pass rush without Von Miller, obviously. Their secondary, they added they lost Chris Harris Jr. I'm thinking of another team, which I'll talk about in a second. They lost Chris Harris Jr. Drew Lock is still a question mark, in my opinion. I think he'll be good. However, he hasn't really proven that much yet. They got Cortland Sutton, which I guess is good. Phillip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon's out them. I don't know, man. I just don't think this Broncos team is the same team. I have a 9-7 for the moment, but if Von Miller's on the team, I think they'd be a lot higher. On to a relocating team, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. 8-8 record. I feel like that's fair for a team that's moving. Obviously, they're not going to win the Super Bowl the first year. However, I think the squad is solid with John Gruden. They got Josh Jacobs, who's a great running back out of Alabama, I believe. They got Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. You can utilize both. I still think that Derek Carr is a pretty good quarterback. He's just not playing up to his MVP standards that he was back in 2015. Darren Waller, who broke out last year, incredible. Their defensive line's good. Their secondary's good. I feel like this team's an 8-8 team. Basically on paper. But, if they play better in Las Vegas, but they're probably not going to have fans, it's going to suck. But the new stadium could give them a little bit of energy and could ride them into the playoffs. But an 8-8 record's where I got them right now.
Don't let any outside people try to mess up what we got going on.
The AFC, I have the Chargers at 6-10 record. Moving into SoFi Stadium, that's good. But this team doesn't have a ton of talent, I'm not going to lie. They've got another right now.
Chargers absolutely could bounce back in 2020.
Chris Harris going to sign with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Trey Turner to the LA Chargers.
However, maybe they'll be good. I'm not sure. Chargers have 6-10 record right now, so I thought it 6-10 record for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now onto the NFC. We have the NFC North to start. We got the Minnesota Vikings here. This team is pretty good. I'm not going to lie, guys. They ended up losing Stephon Diggs, but they got Justin Jefferson basically for Stephon Diggs, which, I think Josh Jefferson could be a good, wide receiver in the NFL. However, Stephon Diggs is pretty good. I'm not going to lie, guys. They ended up losing him. They got primetime Kirk. If he dies, he dies. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. They got Adam Thielen still, Kyle Rudolph. They got Dalvin Cook, which is great. Their defense is subpar, I would say, not the greatest. They ended up losing Linval Joseph to the Chargers, actually, which I didn't mention. And, what's the other guy that lost? Xavier Rhodes. He went to the Colts. So, this Minnesota Vikings team, I think, is a first-place team. I got them at 11-5 and winning the NFC North. At Lambeau Field, we've got the second team in this division. I think will finish second. The Green Bay Packers at a 10-6 record. I think this team's pretty good. However, I feel like they got worse. They don't have the number 2 receiver, I don't think. Don't get me wrong, Davante Adams is a beast on the field, but will he be healthy? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, still good. They end up losing an offensive lineman. I believe it's Brian Bulaga. He went to the Los Angeles Chargers. This team is full of question marks for me. Their defensive line did not get any better. Their secondary really didn't get any better. They still have Jair Alexander, though, which is good. I don't know. I feel like this team is a 10-6 team. Packers, I think, may squeak into the playoffs, but for right now, they're finishing second in the division. Now on to a team that I think everybody's expecting to somewhat tear it up this year, the Detroit Lions. You heard that correctly. Now, I don't think this team will sniff the playoffs this year. Well, maybe they'll sniff the playoffs, but, they're a good team. Matt Patricia is a good coach, in my opinion. I think they should keep him around. He's just not really got talent on the roster, to be honest. But they signed a bunch this offseason. They got Adrian Peterson a couple days ago. Matthew Stafford coming back from basically a broken back. They got Marvin Jones, who's actually not bad. He's been playing pretty well recently. They've got, who else they got on defense? Trey Flowers, a couple other guys on the defense. I think this Detroit Lions team at a 8-8 record is pretty respectable. I think that's where they'll finish up around. Now on to the team I think will finish last in the NFC North. You guys know the Chicago Bears. Now, I think this team is still pretty good. This is, I believe, the highest ranking or highest record for the last team at 7-9. And I think it's still a pretty good record, to be honest, for the Chicago Bears team in the division they're playing in. They have to play at Soldier Field. There's not going to have fans there right now. You got Mitchell Trubisky as a starter, so maybe, the quiet may help him as he doesn't get booed off the field. They got Nick Foles backing him up, which is pretty good. Of course, they got Khalil Mack, Tariq Cohen, a bunch of other guys on the roster. This roster is good, but it has a couple of holes. That's why I'm going to put them at a 7-9 record. I feel like they'll finish last in the NFC North. Now on to the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers. We have the Buccaneers at 12-4 record. This team is incredibly stacked. I could put them higher, but they haven't played yet, so I need to slow them down. They haven't played together. Tom Brady's with Bruce Arians, which, could help them, could not. We'll have to wait and see. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette. Who else you got down there? Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Shaquille Barrett. They ended up drafting, I believe it was, what's his name? I forget the name of the right tackle. Maybe that was, no. Jedrick Wills was drafted by the Browns. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Tristan Wirfs was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers 12-4 record is where I'm going to have them finishing around. I feel like that's a very respectful record for this day in the NFL. I'm sorry for you Saints fan. The video's going to be playing in the background. I know it hurts you, but I got to play it, man. The New Orleans Saints 10-6 record. This is they're going to be the first year of not finishing first in the division in a little bit. But, the Gronkaneers are pretty good. Drew Brees, of course, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara just is signing his extension, I believe, in the next couple of days, or maybe it's already signed by the time you guys see this video. This team is stacked, I'm not going to lie. However, they do have the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers in their division, which is going to hurt a little bit. So 10-6 record is a pretty good record, and I feel like they will still probably get in the playoffs with that record. But we'll have to wait and see on to the next team. Now on to Matt Rule's team, we have the Carolina Panthers. Now, do I think this team is going to make the playoffs? We'll have to wait and see. I feel like they're going to finish around 8-8. Teddy Bridgewater's a good piece. You got, who else you signed there? DJ Moore's still there. I'm trying to think who else signed there, to be honest. Maybe not that much, actually. I'm blanking probably on somebody big. But they end up losing Cam Newton. Luke Kuechly retired, which hurts. But I do feel like this Carolina Panthers team will finish around 8-8 because I feel like Teddy Bridgewater can will them to that. So an 8-8 record for Matt Rule's first year, not going to be bad. Now on to the dumpster fire that is the Atlanta Falcons. Oh my goodness, what happened in the last couple of years? This team imploded basically. They got Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, which is still there, which is still great. They ended up losing Austin Hooper to the Cleveland Browns, which is going to hurt. They ended up losing Mohamed Sanu last year on a trade that really wasn't that good of a trade, to be honest. I just don't see this Falcons team finishing above 5-11. I think their team is definitely missing a couple of players, a couple of big pieces. It usually is injury rattled. This team is not that good in my opinion. 5-11 records where I got them at, and I feel like they're not going to go any higher than that, to be honest. Now on to EDP's favorite team. We have the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I don't know about this team. I'm going to say 10-6 record, man. It could be a lot higher. However, they're trading Alshon Jeffrey, it seems like, so that's going to hurt a little bit because you don't really have the wide receiver depth that some of these teams have. Like, I'm trying to think of the team off the top of my head. The Bills, Steelers, I think have good wide receiver depth. I mean, this team is not that good on paper. However, I think Carson Wentz is a beast. Fletcher Cox is their man in the middle. They have a good offensive line. This team is still good. Jason Peters comes back. I'm saying 10-6 record, honestly. I feel like they could end up worse or better. It depends. 10-6 record for the Philadelphia Eagles is where I've got them at. Now, I'm sure most of you guys were expecting to see Jerry World's team here. However, I feel like the Giants are going to finish it from this year. The reason I say that is because they end up drafting, again, offensive lineman pretty high. They have good offensive line build up now. They've got Daniel Jones, which actually did not look that bad last year. Saquon Barkley, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard. Their defense could use a little bit of work. It's a little scary. However, I feel like they'll be fine. Giants has 7-9 records where I got them at, and I feel like that's where they should end up around 7-9 record. Now, with the same record, we have the Dallas Cowboys at 7-9. The reason I have them here is because Dak Prescott may hold out. We don't know yet. Andy Dalton, though, he could be a backup there. He could be a backup down there. However, they end up drafting CeeDee Lamb. Who else they got down there? Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott. They got it's a decent offensive line. There's a couple pieces missing now, including Travis Frederick from I believe he played last year if I remember correctly. This team, the defense is subpar. If they sign Earl Thomas, maybe it gives them an 8-8 record. I'm not sure yet, but 7-9 records where I got the Dallas Cowboys finishing around. Now on to another dumpster fire that is the Washington football team. This team sucks. I'm sorry. They suck. They don't have a good receiver, in my opinion. Maybe Terry McLaurin's okay, but, we'll have to wait and see. Dwayne Haskins is going to be starting, which may be a disaster. We really haven't seen much of him. Chase Young is a good piece, but will he be there long? I don't know. I don't think he wants to be down in Washington, to be honest. But Washington football team, just by the name of it, makes them sound like they're going to be terrible. 2-14 record. I don't see them finishing above that. This team is not that good, to be honest. Now on to the final division, we have the NFC West. Seahawks finishing first, in my opinion, 11-5 record. I think Russell Wilson's the second best quarterback in the league behind Patrick Mahomes. However, again, Tyler Lockett's there, DK Metcalf, Josh Gordon signs back. So they got pieces, don't get me wrong. They got pieces. However, their defense, not what it used to be. They still got Bobby Wagner, which is very, very good. But, I don't really feel like they have an elite corner, to be honest. I mean, Shaquille Griffin's good, but not elite in my opinion. Seattle Seahawks, 11-5 records where I think they're going to finish around. And I don't think they finish any higher nor lower. 11-5 is my prediction. Now, second, we have the NFC Championship from last year at the 49ers. They're going to go by a 9-7 record, in my opinion. I don't think this team is that incredibly good. They're good, trust me. But people are going to figure them out. They're run heavy. That's where they're at. They end up losing Emmanuel Sanders, which is going to hurt. But they still got, I believe, Deebo Samuel still there. Unless he got hurt. I think he may have got hurt, to be honest. He may have got hurt, so keep that on hold. Jimmy Garoppolo, they end up losing one of their running backs. I forget which one. I think it's maybe Matt Breida they lost, something like that. But they still what's his name? I'm blanking on everybody's names today, guys. I'm sorry. Raheem Monster is who they have. George Kittle still there, great asset. Defense still good. Nick Bosa, Richard Sherman, Quan Alexander. They got Jimmy Ward still there. They got some good pieces on defense. So I feel like a 9-7 record is really going to finish around. Will they sneak in the playoffs with that record? We'll have to wait and see. Now on to the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium. I got them at a 7-9 record. I feel like both Los Angeles teams will be a little disappointing this year. Aaron Donald still there? Good. Jared Goff still there? Good. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp? Good. 7-9 records where I feel like they're going to finish around. I don't feel like this team is incredible. I don't think they're bad. 7-9 record is what I'm predicting for the Los Angeles Rams. The final team on the list, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Team's good, but, the defense is not great. I'm going to be honest with you. Jordan Hicks on the defense, the only bright spot in my opinion. I guess Patrick Peterson is pretty good too. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald. Incredible three, I guess. Yeah, incredible three on the offensive side. Pretty good. I feel like this team's going to finish at 6-10. That's my prediction for the Arizona Cardinals. Now let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture. Number 1, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 3, Miami Dolphins. Number 4, Indianapolis Colts. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Number 6, Buffalo Bills. And number 7, the Houston Texans. And now for the NFC playoff predictions. We got number 1 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have number 2 is Seattle Seahawks. Number 3, Minnesota Vikings. Number 4, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 5, New Orleans Saints. Number 6, Green Bay Packers. And number 7, the San Francisco 49ers squeak in. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on post notifications. If you guys want to argue some of the predictions down below, please do. I want to hear your arguments for some of these teams, why they're going to be better, why they're going to be worse. And tell me what I got wrong in your opinion, but only time will tell. One day away from kickoff, baby. We're so close. Again, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on post notifications. And I'm NTG. Peace out.